All right, with that, let's jump straight into reaction. Up first is the Organization Undoing Tax Abuse. The CEO is Wayne Duvenage, who joins us now via our video link. Wayne, lovely to have you on the SABC. Thanks for making time to speak to us. Among the most salient criticism that's emerged over the past couple of hours is the sheer size of this cabinet. I wonder how high up your list of concerns that is.
Yeah, absolutely. And we believe that some of these additional ministries have been put in place just to accommodate people who are close to the ANC, people like Bladen Zamande, Gwede Mantashe, as far as we're concerned, have done a lot of damage in their two ministries, respective ministries, and should never have been given any role in cabinet. And now we see additional ministries being put in by splitting those portfolios. So we really are disappointed in that and their continued existence in cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, the president's justification for that is that he was trying to make this as inclusive a cabinet as possible. Does that hold water for you?
No, not necessarily. I think if you add up the percentage of the cabinet positions that are controlled by the ANC, it's well above the 40% that they achieved in the election. So I don't believe that's a reason, or it really is an excuse. And quite frankly, we didn't need to split those portfolios. We just needed to change the leadership in those portfolios. So no, we don't believe this is about inclusivity. I think he's got a lot of that right. He has spread the portfolios, but we certainly believe that he shouldn't have bloated the cabinet any more than what it was, because it already over-bloated, a massive cost to society, massive cost to this country. So you're adding more expenses. But I think more importantly is we have people in those positions who have failed dismally in mining. And failed dismally in higher education. And yet these individuals find themselves still holding positions of power, albeit in very similar roles that they were before, just slightly deviated. And that really is a problem for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about continuity, because I imagine that's also top of mind for many people who are watching to kind of get a sense of where this country is headed. There have been a lot of changes, but there are also some people, as you've mentioned, who've been able to retain their positions. When it comes to this idea of having, a seamless transition of power, how worried are you about that, given the number of new faces we're seeing in this cabinet?
Yeah, look, it is a challenge. I guess change is good. It's necessary because so often it's very difficult to leave people in charge of the solutions who created the problems in the first place. So it is good to have change. I mean, Barbara Creecy coming into transport, we believe could be good. We hope that she has the leadership and the tough approach that is required to fix transport. It has had 7 ministers in the last 15 years, so there hasn't been continuity there. And we've really failed to put in the right people, specifically in that department, which is critical for our economy. And hopefully Barbara Creecy, we're not sure, the jury's out on whether she's going to be able to take the bull by the horns and fix, for instance, the road accident fund. Collins Letsoala has been allowed to get away with murder, quite frankly, when it comes to how that department has been run. The driver's license debacle, it's ongoing. The list is long when it comes to the problems that we've seen in transport. So continuity is important, but not when you've had inefficiency and ineffectiveness in the past.
Yeah, in his speech yesterday, the president, and I want to read this verbatim, says that they hope all parties will make a commitment to respect the Constitution and promote an accountable and transparent type of government. How confident are you that something like that will happen, given the names that have popped up? And I'm thinking specifically about the security cluster here, which I think has gone through a number of changes. In defense, we've got Angie Motshekga. She, of course, comes from basic education. Justice and constitutional development has gone to Thembing Kadimeng. She comes from cooperative governance. The police minister has gone to Senzo Mchunu, and correctional services to Dr. Piet Groenewald.
Yeah, look, I mean, those are quite interesting appointments. We really enjoyed the work that Senzo Mchunu was doing in water. He was trying to fix a damaged portfolio from years of neglect And he was doing a good job. So now, that's one ministry, we've lost continuity. We really needed him to stay there. I don't know who else you put into police, but we did need change there. We know that. So maybe his good approach in water can deal with the necessary work that's required in the policing department. But to your earlier point, transparency, we always say, is the enemy of corruption. And there's been a gross lack of transparency when it comes to holding people to account in many portfolios in government. We are hoping that this new government is going to be serious about transparency. There's so much information that we are entitled to as civil society, and yet we have to go to court to get basic information, and it takes ages. We have to do these PIA applications, and we really do want this new cabinet to tackle the issue of this lack of transparency so that we can get to the core of who's behind the problems and the corruption that's taking place in government.
Yeah, Cyril Ramaphosa retains his position as the Minister of what is now electricity and energy. It's almost 100 days of no load shedding under his guidance, so to speak. That, I suppose, is likely to be welcomed by a lot of people, especially given just how widespread the impact of the country's energy crunch has been.
Yes, I guess that was a given almost. They were going to move energy away from the department under Gwede. He wasn't doing much there anyway. He was stalling things. So it makes sense to go there. I think Cyril Ramaphosa has really been in the right place at the right time. A lot of the work to deal with load shedding was started years ago, many years ago, and it's coming to fruition now. So more coincidental than necessarily his work. But nonetheless, I mean, he's there, and let's see how things improve in that area. Not surprising that he got that role.
And hopefully things do continue to improve. Wayne Duvenage, thanks very much indeed for giving us your reaction. We appreciate your time on the SABC. Wayne Duvenage, of course, with the organization Undoing Tax Abuse.